Welcome back. Today's video we will discuss about the wage determination in labor market. So the theory of wage determination under perfectly competitive. So under the perfectly competitive market we are discussing about this wage determination. Okay. So market structure using the demand and supply analysis. Here, to understand this wage determination in labor market, we take the two concepts demand and supply under perfect competition. The basic difference between a labor market and a market for goods. We've heard about markets where the goods are sold and bought. We know that market. What is this labor market? So to know the difference between in the market for goods is with respect to the source of supply and demand. How much the goods are supplied by the producers and how much the goods are demanded by the consumers. That usually we know that. Okay. And in the labor market, now we are talking about the labor market. Households. So here in the labor market, who are the supplier of labor? The supply of labor is household, are the suppliers of labor, and the demand for labor comes from firms where in the market for goods. So households are the suppliers, and who demands labor means who's demanding the labor? Firms. Firms are demanding the labor. Got it? It is the opposite. Here it is important to point out that by labor we mean the hours of work provided. How many number of works a labor is working and not the number of laborers. How? Now the point here what we are going to study is how the wage rate is determined. Wage means nothing but salary, income. Okay, the worker gets. How that income is fixed for the workers. That is, wage means income or a salary. Labor means worker. Okay, so how that salary is fixed, how it is determined, that is the topic is all about. Okay. Now, how the wage rate is determined means at the intersection of the demand and supply curves of a labor where the demand for and supply of labor balance. So, now still going towards the topic, now let me concerned with the two more additional things have to say, then we'll come back to the same concept. Here we have to understand Marginal Revenue Product Labor and Wage Legislation Act. So now coming to the marginal revenue product labor. See, this is the two concepts. Okay, one is marginal product, the another one is marginal revenue. So two concepts. We have marginal revenue and marginal product. Okay, first we'll see the extra output produced by one more unit of labor is nothing but marginal product, additional product produced. Okay, extra output produced by one more unit of labor, it is called as a marginal product. Got it? And by selling extra unit of output, so this is selling extra unit of output, the additional earnings what the seller is getting in the firm, it is called as a marginal revenue. Okay, this is produced, the additional good produced by additional unit, by extra unit of output by the labor, it is called as a marginal product, and by selling the additional unit, what is the earnings received by the firm, it is called as a marginal revenue. Okay, so therefore for each extra unit of labor they get the additional benefit equal to the marginal revenue. So here we calculate we use marginal revenue product, labor is small one. Okay, how to calculate this means, so marginal revenue product labor equals MR into MPL. That means MR means marginal revenue product labor and MR means marginal revenue, MP means marginal product. We are discussing the topic about labor, so we are writing here as a labor. Okay, so this is under the perfectly competitive market. And I wanted to tell you one more thing adding up here. Already I told you here how the wage is determined in a labor market. Now as you all know that OY axis indicating the wage rate and OY axis indicating the quantity of workers, that means labors. So here the labors workers are indicated in the x axis and y axis wage rate is mentioned. You know that this upward sloping curve, it is a supply curve and downward sloping curve is a demand curve. So when the supply curve and the demand curve intersect at point E, this is a point of equilibrium where the wage rate is decided. So this W is indicating the wage rate and the quantity of labors. So for so much of labors, the wage is salary fixed at this point, we call it as a equilibrium point. So wage is determined. Now come to the point, the wage rate is determined at the point. So which point? At point E, where the supply and the demand intersect, labor. Okay, this is supply of labor. Who is supplying the labor? Household. And who is demanding the labor? Firms are demanding. So how much demand is there for the labor and how much the households are supplying the labors in the market. So where it is intersecting at the point E, it is called as, it is at the point where the demand, where the labor demanded and supply curves intersect. Where it is intersecting, here the wage is determined. See, sometimes what happens means, here the wage rate sometimes it goes less. Okay, so the wage will become less. Sometime we may ask for increment, so at that time the wage will be increased. Okay, what will happen if it increases? No problem, but under the perfect competitive market, how the prices are same, homogeneous prices. Under the perfect competition, firms are a price taker. Even the consumers will be knowing the market information. They cannot influence the price, just they pay whatever the price. So they cannot increase the prices here. That means the wages cannot be increased. Okay, at the same time it should not be decreased also, because it will affect the workers. Okay, it should not be decreased. For that, to ensure the wage rate, okay, for the laborers beneficial part, the government has passed one rule, one act, okay, that is called as a legislation act. Okay, for that we use Wage Legislation Act. So in India they use the wage policy, Indian wage policy. I have given some objectives here in the images. You can go through this images. Here one point I wanted to note down, that through which legislation. So what is the legislation we have by the government to ensure that the wage rate of the laborers that does not fall. So wage rate kadme agbardu, wages should not be reduced. Okay, ಅದು reduce ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂದರೆ what is the particular law has been imposed by the government, means it is called as a minimum wage legislation act has been passed by the government to ensure that every laborers are getting a proper salary and no company should decrease their work. Okay, so they have to follow the legislation which is given. The act has been passed. Okay, so what is the act name? Minimum Wage Legislation Act, which ensures, the government ensures that the wage rate of the laborers does not fall below the particular level. So this is about the wage determination of labor market. So another next topic we will move on. So the next topic is shifts in the demand and supply. Okay, so actually in the market equilibrium we have certain assumptions. Okay, so the how the demand and supply are determined, the factors determining the demand and supply. Okay, and there we studied a few concept called the factors determining the demand: taste and preferences of the consumer, prices of the related commodities, income of the consumer. And what is the factor which is determining the supply? The technological progress and input prices. These are the factors which is determining the demand and supply. So with changes in one or more of these factors, either the supply or the demand curve are both may shift. So in this determination, if anything changes, what will happen in the demand and the supply curve is that supply and the demand curve will shift. So thereby affecting the equilibrium price and quantity. So equilibrium means already told you 10 equals 10. It is in an equilibrium position. Like that the quantity demanded must be equal to quantity S. QD equals QS. That means the market is under the equilibrium position. So market equilibrium is where the quantity demand is equal to quantity supply. Now if any of these factors changes, it will affect the equilibrium price and quantity. So here we first develop the general theory in the outline impact of these shifts on equilibrium, and then discuss the impact of changes in some of the above mentioned factors of equilibrium. So first we will study about the shift in demand. Okay, first we'll move to shifts in demand. So in this shift in demand, you can observe the impact of demand shift when the number of firms are fixed. Actually here the number of firms, I'll tell you this OY. So this is a OY axis indicating the price, OX axis indicating the quantity demand. So here S is the supply curve, DD is a D1 is a demand curve. So upward sloping curve is a supply curve, downward sloping curve is a demand curve. Clear? Now, so here at the initial equilibrium point is E. See here this is the original demand curve and this is the original supply curve. Okay, so now where the D curve and the S curve intersecting at this point. So where you have this point, at this point we call it as a E. That means E means equilibrium, where the demand curve is intersecting with the supply curve. Okay, where the market demand curve D and the market supply curve S intersect, so that the quantity demanded is supplied is Q and the price is P. Okay, what is the price? For example, this is a OP is the price and OQ is the quantity demanded and supply, are the equilibrium quantity and price respectively. Okay, so I'll come again. This is a supply curve and this is the demand curve where they are intersecting at this point called E. So the equilibrium quantity will be OQ and equilibrium price will be OP. Okay, now suppose the market demand curve shifts rightward. If the market, this is the demand curve, if it shifts to here D1, with the supply curve remaining unchanged, the supply curve is remaining constant, there is no changes in the supply curve will remain same, only the demand curve is shifting towards the rightward, D1. Okay, so this shift indicates that at any price the quantity demanded is more than before. So whatever the price may be here, whether the price is P or a P1, whatever P2, whatever the price, the supply is remaining the same. There is no changes in the supply. Therefore, at price P, now there is a excess demand. There is a excess demand. So the demand have been increased to OQ1. Some individuals will be buying to pay higher prices and the price would tend to rise. The new equilibrium is attained at point. Now because of here the curve, the demand curve shifted rightward. The equilibrium point, this is the equilibrium point earlier. Now the equilibrium point took a new diversion, for example F. So the new equilibrium point is obtained. Okay, and here where the equilibrium quantity will become Q1 is greater than Q0. Q ginta yavdu jasti, Q1 jasti. Okay, and the equilibrium price will become P1 is greater than P. Okay, similarly if the demand curve shifts leftward, so in this I'll tell you, this is the original demand curve. Now we have seen the demand curve shifted rightward. Okay, now we'll see the demand curve shifted leftward. This is D, this is D1, this is D2. Okay, D1, D, D1, center curve is a D, the rightward shifted is D1, the leftward shifted is D2. Okay, so the curve is shifted towards the leftward, that means this is leftward, shifted to left side. Okay, as shown in this image, at any price the quantity demanded will be less than what it was before the shift. So the quantity first it was this much, then it is increased this much, then again it is decreased. Earlier ishtitu iga eshtu kadme agide ante quantity demanded has been less, that means before the shift. Therefore at the initial equilibrium price, initial equilibrium was this point E. Okay, and then it is increased. Equilibrium has been shifted when the demand curve shifted to the rightward. It is shifted a new equilibrium point, it is called as F. Okay, now because of decrease, that initial equilibrium was that, and now excess supply, the market equal to Q01. Here now it is decreased like this. Okay, the curve is decreased. So this point is E, this is F, and this will become, for example, G. Okay, at this point the supply also decreased and demand also have been decreased at this point. Okay, and resulting equilibrium price will become, the price also will become lesser and the quantity supplied also will become lesser. Okay, and notice that the direction of change in equilibrium price and quantity is same whenever there is a shift in demand curve. Okay, so this is all about shifts in the demand curve. Suppose if first we have seen about the prices. Okay, suppose if the income of a consumer changes. Okay, what will happen to the demand curve? When the income of a consumer changes, the demand will shift rightward. If income is more, suppose if the income is more, the demand curve will shift to the rightward. If the income is less, the demand curve will shift to the leftward. As I said in the factors determining the demand. Suppose if the taste and preferences of the consumer increases, the demand for it will be shifted to the rightward. If I doesn't like the taste, the demand curve will be shifted to the leftward of the demand curve. Okay, and price of the related goods. So whatever the factors determining, according to that the curve will be shifted to the rightward or the curve will be shifted to the leftward. So this is called as a shifts in demand. Okay, so next we will move towards the shifts in supply, will be continued in the next video. Thank you for watching.